You seem to have forgotten that I am a woman.
Okay then, well let's step it up a notch then. Dope. Alrighty. Dude, we're doing it.
Are we doing it?
We are literally doing this. We're doing it right now. Welcome to Haus Haux. I am your host, Ani Moush. Thank you. You guys made it to this second episode.
Yes, the second
Los
one.
Dos. Today we have a wonderful friend, Mr. J. Castle, Senor Castillo, as we're dubbing you. And you came on before in an unreleased episode.
Yes.
God bless,
Strictly
dude.
on the Patreon.
Oh my God. Thank you for coming back. This one will go out. This
Okay.
one's going to go out October 1st. I'm saying it out loud into the universe, so it's actually happening. Yay,
Manifest it.
happening. Okay, cool. I wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
So in the last episode, we were talking about how I'm trying to get back behind a mic, just talking
Right.
in general. And I'm using this podcast as a vessel. And a vessel to just like channel my art and to like I want to hear about other artists and their journey.
Right,
because it's so hard to get yourself, especially like in adulthood,
Mm.
to like do something totally different
Yeah.
than what you had been doing. So we went to college together.
Yes, we did.
And I
R.I.P. By the way.
R.I.P. I literally was talking about this the other day. I'm like, how sad is it that we don't have like a homecoming?
There's
or
like
anything.
like an alumni thing.
Oh, the school shut down.
The school shut down. Get closer to your mic. But like the school shut down a couple years ago, and it was very sad. Well, it was sold to UMass.
Yeah, which is
and
crazy because it was a private school that already asked for so much money. So like, and it wasn't like that huge of a school. So
Yeah.
everyone was just putting so much money into the
I mean,
school.
they never have enough.
Yeah, it's
It was crazy.
So like they got bought out, and now it's what is it now? It's
Now-
it's like UMass, one of them.
it's it's UMass Amherst, but the school is in Newton, Massachusetts, and so it's like a satellite campus.
Yeah.
And whatever. I mean, like, that sucks.
It's
Have
just-
us back for homecoming, just real quick.
I was wondering, like, would it count? Like, will like UMass?
They should have a mini tent for us.
Yeah,
that
like-
we can just come hang.
We're like
Yeah,
the others. We
yeah.
we like go to like their alumni, but,
Yeah.
we have like a thing on.
They
just to
got
say, like, we're not-
UMass money.
Yeah, right. They're.
You're already wearing the colors, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
What-
I'm rapping. Talk about manifesting.
right? But I was doing design in college,
Yeah.
and then for like 10 years afterwards or whatever it is, and then like switched to comedy. And you were at my first ever show.
I did. I went to it. It was a really great show, by the way.
Dude, I was so grateful for you coming to that. That was
Yeah.
so crazy to like think back, because I was like obviously before pandemic and stuff. But I admired you so much for changing your journey too.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that you would talk like a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, mine was more out of like, kind of half necessity, half like I was just in the right place at the right
Yeah.
time, because I went to school for psychology, but like when I got out of school, I never was able to get something in psychology, because when I was doing it,
Get closer to your mic. Sorry.
because when I was doing it, I didn't realize at the time, but in college you have to do internships, you have to do this, and that, because that gives you your experience, and then once you're out of college, you already have your experience. But no one had really told me that, so I never did it. I just did the college thing. So then once I was out, I couldn't get any jobs anywhere. Like I needed this amount of experience, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, every
And wh-
entry level job always says like have a year. And you're like,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
not entry level.
Entry level job, you need like 4 years experience, like a fucking master's degree,
I
doctorate.
can't believe that
It's
wasn't a requirement
like,
for your major.
that's what I'm saying. Like I wasn't at all. It just wasn't.
Meanwhile, vet tech has to do 6 in a year.
I know, and I should have known, because I had a vet tech. Shout out to Tim. I had a vet tech roommate, and he was like arm deep in like cows like assholes.
Literally, that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, no, literally, right? So, and this was all for free, and I would look at him like, damn, that's sucks that you have to do that. Meanwhile, I had no idea, right?
Right.
So like when I got out of college, I couldn't get a job, so I just immediately went into construction, because I I needed, I needed a job, I needed money. And so I did that for like a year and some change. And one day my roommate from college, not my roommate from college, a guy that I knew, Tyler, he like hit me up and was like, hey, my girlfriend is moving to Boston. Do you want to be her roommate?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm not really doing much here. And I started in Boston, because of college, like psychology. So like I'll go there, maybe I'll find something there. And then again, I couldn't find anything. So I ended up like I stayed there for a year and I would just do odd jobs here and there. And then I came back because we were living with like 6 different people, like in one house. But it was good.
And y'all were like right out of college too.
Yeah.
So it was still
Must have
like
been
party
disgusting.
time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I realized that I don't have a problem living with people. I know some can't stand having roommates. Meanwhile, like when I was in college, especially like my last semester there, I had a one dorm with. I lived on campus in a dorm with 2 people. So there was 3 of us, and both of them had girlfriends who lived inside
Oh my God.
of the dorm. So it was 5 people in a room that is not bigger than this room right now.
Yeah.
You know what I
dude.
mean? And I was fine with it. I genuinely didn't, because I'm a very go with the flow kind of guy. Like I don't care, right? So I'll just do whatever. So when
You adapt.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very adaptable. So when it came to that, like she was my original roommate, and then she was like, "Can I like bring some?" I'm like, "Sure."
Mm-hmm.
Get another person, get another, and then that person brought another, that brought another, that brought another,
Mm-hmm.
and we just had all those people, and it was great. I liked it, but eventually, towards the end of the year, we're gonna redo the lease, but they, like you said, it was straight out of college, and they're like, I don't want to pay rent anymore. This is
Yeah.
this whole adult thing where you just gotta pay bills. Like, what are we doing?
It sucks.
It's a scam. So, so they all left, and then I couldn't, because I didn't have like a steady job. I was just doing random things.
Mhm.
So I had to leave, and I came back, and I started doing a like painting job, and as I'm in here, like I live in New Jersey, which is right over the bridge, George Washington Bridge. So I'm right next to New York City, and while I was in Boston, I had like this revelation. Like I always wanted to be like a writer. I wanted to be an actor, but I guess it just wasn't. Just all the things that were happening in my life, it just wasn't.
Mhm.
It didn't seem like a real thing.
Mhm.
It just seemed like they do it. The people on TV do it. Like that's
Yeah.
just their thing.
That's how I felt too.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, like that's not like a realistic thing.
And
like,
then if you really
it
like
is.
look into it, everyone who is on TV, they're the daughter and son of someone who was on TV like
Mhm.
50 years ago, and they're the daughter of son. So it's like a family thing. So you're just like, this is not real. But when I was in Boston, I'm like, yo, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that. And then when I left Boston, I was in New Jersey. I was like living with my mom, and I would see on Instagram like these like castings and I would see people commenting saying like,
Close to your mic. Sorry.
I saw people commenting like, yo, I wish I was in New York right now. I would go. I wish I was in New York right now. I wish I was in New York.
And you're like, I'm here.
I'm like, of all the bad things that could happen, like in my life, like one good thing is that I'm here. Like
Mhm.
I am here right now. So I can just go to a casting.
That's so important for you to like to say out loud because people, that's all it is. Just get there.
Yeah, you gotta go.
You know?
You're not gonna make something of yourself in Ohio or like, it's just not a thing.
Whatever it is, like you can still, if there's a will, there's a way. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And if you're here, it's so much easier.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because you're just in the right place at the right, because that's what it is. You have to be in the right place at the right time, and that's it.
Mhm.
And then that can build something for you, right? So I was here, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this acting thing because this is what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
So I looked at castings, and then I started getting like things. I started getting like short films and like student films because like Columbia and there's like Brooklyn. All these like film schools are here,
Yeah.
so they need people who are like directing and
They
want
need
to.
actors.
Yeah, they need actors,
Mhm.
and they can't pay for like big time actors. They need like random people.
Mhm.
So I started getting that, and I was getting that more than when I was getting like trying to get like because I had tried getting new jobs like a marketing job or this job, and I couldn't get that either. I would get the interview,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't get the job, which doesn't help anyone.
Mhm.
So I started getting that one after another. And I'm like, oh, this is actually, something. Like I can, and then after a while, like I started getting paid a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is getting somewhere.
Put in the time and the reps.
Exactly. And then one thing that I did after all, like the acting, I had been doing it for a year. I started casting for modeling, and then the modeling thing. And at this time, I had grown my hair out. Like all these years had passed, I'd grown my hair out, and again, acting was one thing. Modeling was just not even.
Yeah.
Like acting is for them. Modeling is not even for humans.
How long were you acting at this point?
Maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
And so I saw the modeling casting, and at this point, I had already been going to these castings knowing I'm not going to get them. I had that whole mentality. I'm not going to get it. I don't care. I'll just go to practice. So I saw the modeling one, and it was in Jersey City, which is not far at all. I'm like, okay, this is very close. I'm not doing anything today. I'll see.
I'm hanging out.
Yeah, I'll go see what it is. I go. Literally, I get there and I realize that where the casting is inside the building that I did construction.
That's fucking
like I literally
wild.
built the building that the modeling thing was in. I'm like, this is fucking.
You built your dream.
It's so freaky, super,
Señor Castillo.
so stupid. So I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is. I was having like I was like inside the building, like having flashbacks of me being like in the dead of like February, having like 5 shirts on, like a hoodie, all these things, like huddling around like 4 other people, haven't showered or cleaned my clothes because you're in a building with like it's just dirty all the time because you're literally building it. It's just dust and anthrax and just cancer, and. So I'm having these flashbacks, and now I'm here with like pretty people, and like trying to model. Everyone's like Fashion Nova, whatever.
I feel like ironically, both before it was people wearing Carhartt, and now still wearing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Fashion.
yeah. So I'm
Chic.
there, and like outside, I obviously I didn't know anything about modeling, but I was doing the acting, so I'm just like, all right, I'll just act like I'm a model. Like fuck it, like this is my new character today.
You better work.
Yeah. Yeah, so I sat on a bench outside and just looked up YouTube, like how to walk, how to pose, how to this, literally for like 15-20 minutes, and then I go inside, I do the thing, and they're like, oh yeah, you've obviously been doing this for a while. I'm like, absolutely, I've been doing it my whole life. It's my passion. So I end up getting a fashion show from this thing, and then I meet some guy that is also a model. He has like a.
How long between that and the fashion show?
Oh, I meet him at the fashion show.
No, like when you got this like gig in the building that you built.
Yeah, so I got the gig in August, like late August, and then maybe a week later was the fashion show.
What?
Yeah, so I went to the fashion show and I met this guy, and he's like he runs what's it called, an Instagram where he puts all castings for like modeling stuff.
Oh,
so he's like, yo, follow me and whatever.
Yeah.
I do the fashion show. It goes well. I talk to photographers. I immediately like hit them up like, yo, can I get pictures? Because the next week is New York Fashion Week.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? So New York Fashion Week's next week, and this is when like there's models all over New York. I mean, people again from Cleveland, they fly to New York to do modeling.
New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, So I get like a bunch of pictures. I go online and like, how do I make a comp card like for like modeling?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to these castings, and I go to one casting, and then I meet more people. They're like, oh, do you know about this one? And they're just like handing out castings, all these models. And in my mind, I had thought like, yo, this is a competition. Like we're against each other right now. But to them, like that's not it at all. Like you're going to get picked whether we're here or not. Because like before you walk in, like the designer has something in mind.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter,
matter.
like what. And even if we look alike, we're both getting picked because that's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just giving out all of these castings, and I started getting them, and I'm like, now I'm like doing like New York Fashion Week, like actual real.
And you're in Vogue.
Fashion, yeah, and that's what ended up happening is that later on I do one, and then I do another the following like February, and I end up in Vogue Mexico.
The fucking coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and I found out on the. Because for me, I'm like I guess I'm a nihilistic in nature, or I just don't. I think it's just realism. Like I don't believe things are going to happen ever. So like I went into the modeling not believing it, so I didn't care.
There's low expectations.
No expectation, literally
None.
zero. It doesn't exist. I go into it believing it's not going to work.
People would envy that. I'm sure that trait. I'm sure.
It's everything in my life, everything. So even like I go to these castings not believing I'm gonna make it. I get it. It's like, wow, I actually got it. I go to the fashion show. I'm like, okay, they probably changed their mind on the way here. So I'm gonna go and they're gonna be like, no, which has happened, by the way, like one time. But I'm still like, even if I'm at the show, I'm in the clothes, I'm still like, they're gonna change their mind.
Yeah.
They're gonna say no. And I'm gonna be fine because that's what I'm expecting. And then I'm walking. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm here. I mean, okay, it works.
There we go.
Yeah. So even that with the Vogue thing, like I had found out through like the fashion, through whatever the fashion show was, and I'm like, I saw that it was my clothing, my thing, but I didn't see me at first. I just saw like the article, and I'm like, damn, I could have been in, but they didn't put me in.
You got. No, you didn't.
I'm
though.
like still thinking. I see my stuff, but I'm like, nah, it's not me. And then I like go in, and I'm like scrolling, and I'm on the subway, and I see like one of the first pictures. It's me, and it's like all in Spanish because it's Vogue Mexico, and I'm like,
Señor Castillo. Literally.
yeah. And I look, and I just like look around, and there's like this little Spanish lady like sitting next to me, and I'm like, do you speak Spanish? And she's like, yeah,
See?
yeah. And I'm like, can you just read this? And so she starts like reading it, and it was just such a surreal moment. So like I went home and like
God.
I told my mom, and she's like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, like Vogue, like, and then she like went to sleep. Like it was not big to her at all, but it was very big to me. You know what I mean?
That's huge. What
I
the
thought
fuck?
so.
Congratulations.
I know.
Oh my
I know.
God. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's a weird.
All because you were a YouTube university student. That got you farther.
But that's like that's like
the real trick,
like
though.
literally college is a scam, and it's just for you. It's just for them.
It's
to
for
take
you to
money.
like hang out with people. How many people?
I mean, kind of.
Kind of. That's why I'm so annoyed that like we don't have like a once a year at least thing to like come hang out. You have to do it yourself.
I mean, you really just have to make a podcast and hope your friends come
Yeah.
Slowly invite them all.
Literally. Oh my God. That's basically what we did with the unreleased episode
Yeah.
with Molly.
So
Shout
do you
out
want to
Molly.
say like what happened, like why it didn't?
You know what? So, okay. We've shot the first ever episode with you and Molly in my old apartment.
Yes.
And I did the opposite of what you just said. Not that I had like so many expectations for it, but like a podcast can be whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Like it's just a conversation. And like what I love about podcasting is that it's a moment in time that you can like go back to and be like, oh my God, like look at how much has happened since then. It's just so cool. And that's why I'm so fascinated by that. But I put so much like pressure on like what is this podcast going to be instead of letting the podcast like guide me and be like a vessel for what I need it to be. And like at the time, like our work was a little bit different and I didn't really have like the time or space to like work on my projects like in where I had like clarity.
Right.
And now I've like gone through that and we moved into this new space and like we have like all the resources that I needed to make this happen and like mentally I'm good, which just sounds so corny because I help people every day start a podcast,
but you can't do it yourself.
It's like it's still your project, you know what I mean? So I can coach other people just fine, but like you still have to make time for you to do the project,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
So
You don't want to rush into it.
exactly, and I didn't want to like put out inconsistent episodes, and now I feel like I've built more time in for myself.
Right.
So that like it didn't go to waste because it taught me that I needed to slow down and not do so many things and like do more projects that are for me.
Well, that's good because I like one podcast called Your Mom's House.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and
We love Your Mom's House.
Yeah, so I had seen that he, like one of their latest episodes, because I watched another one called Tim Dillon.
Fucking
right?
love Tim Dillon.
all
But
know
he,
these,
yeah, but
Yes.
he has like 200, 300 episodes. And then I went to your mom's house and he had like 600.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa. So I went to like the YouTube and I went because you can like reverse like from newest
Yeah.
to oldest, and the very first one is like 30,
Yeah.
and it was like 9 years ago.
Oh my. Yeah.
So him and his wife, who I guess was his
Christina
girlfriend at
P.
the time.
Yeah.
They made a podcast 9 years ago, and now they're millionaires.
Yeah.
So it's like,
dude.
so it's like you right now. It's like I'm really interested in like how long you do keep this, because first of all, because you said you want to get back like on stage, like behind a mic, like this is like podcasting for like you have to have a podcast if you're a comedian, like that's a given at this point.
Yes and no. I mean, the point. Here's the thing. I don't think people should have podcasts the same way that they have social media. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't just have it just to have it.
Yeah, if you don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, if you don't get it, and it's not that you have to put like so much production value or whatever into what you're doing. Like, I mean, we're just sitting here on a couch having a conversation that I think is valuable, but like some people just like to fuck around. That's also cool. But if you're like, it should serve you outside the podcast. Like the podcast should serve you in a greater way. You know what I mean? Like
in what way do you mean serve?
So I think a lot of comics, just based on people I've worked with, like they use their podcast to get their name out there that they're a comedian or like that they do funny things or that they have like other content or whatever. But like some people do it in other ways. You know what I mean? So in terms of like having a podcast to be a comedian, like I guess it's like a good muscle workout, but I don't know if it's like the soul.
No, I think it like
I mean, I feel like sorry.
No, go for it.
Sometimes like bits start from podcasts.
Yeah.
Like you,
Well,
can,
yeah.
you can listen back sometimes to hear like a podcast where it's
For
like
sure.
the origin of a joke. So like kind of riffing for that.
I
Yeah.
guess it's good for it's like a additional practice, like additional workout for your jokes.
But
that makes sense.
all the comedians that I listen to that have like I listen to them from the podcast. Like I was a huge like stand up, like I love stand up, but a lot of these like for instance Tim Dillon, he said that he wasn't like he didn't have the numbers like coming in before the podcast. And now he does. Like Bobby Lee, he did not have the numbers like as in terms of like selling out places. He didn't have them, and he has been in the game forever. But the podcast makes people love him, and they go to him to see the stand up. So that's why I'm like, you need a podcast because regardless of how this serves you, like you do need to put your name out there. And it's not really social media. It's that like this, like people love connecting. Like I never watched a podcast in my life ever before the pandemic. and I guess because like the isolation of it all and like just not having conversations, it was nice to kind of be in the room with like random people. And like Bobby Lee, Tiger Belly was my first
really?
podcast that I really got that even like really started watching. And that that was just him and his girlfriend just talking to another person, and like that was the podcast. So like that, I think people really relate to that, and they just really enjoy being in the room. Just being in the room. They find you from somewhere and they're like, oh, look, she has a podcast. Actually, this reminds me of what Russ, the rapper, he said. He said that like, everyone is Game of Thrones. Every single person, because how he got into it, how he got like his stardom is that he would make albums, but like they weren't popping. So instead of making,
I remember hearing him talk about this on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
he's just like putting shit out all the time.
Yeah, because
forcing.
Instead of doing
You
like
will like me.
because instead of because one album would be like 10, 12 songs. So instead of that, he would do one song every week on TuneCore. So he would just put one song out and then another one and another one and another one, and then 6 months down he'll have a whole new album and he'll just do it again, like another song, and eventually like after like year 2 or year 3, his numbers started rising crazy. And it's because when people went and saw one song that they really liked,
they went back.
And because everyone is a Game of Thrones, where you all have seasons, and regardless of like whether Game of Thrones exists, whether whether you watch it, it has the seasons, like, and you can go at any point and watch that. So like podcasting, maybe they see you at like a stand-up, like at a comedy club. Maybe they see you on someone else's podcast. They look you up. Now you have a whole podcast thing that they can just go back and literally watch everything.
This is the best ad for Too Much Content, by the way.
Yeah. So like it's such that's why I think it's such a necessary thing for a stand-up, like, specifically, because
Yeah.
you just need
I think
your
if you're
Game
a
of Thrones.
performer in general, like,
Yeah.
you know, or if you're like an artist, like that is, I think, the best way to like showcase that kind of thing. Exactly. Because you can connect with people not only about your art, but like theirs, and the catalog is like so huge.
It's
like
huge.
In terms of like with stand up, it almost kind of hurts it a little bit because I feel like once you start to see people on podcasts, it's so like organic and new and different every time.
Yeah.
And like they have a set of an hour of jokes.
Yeah.
Some of them, you know, not all.
Yeah.
But so
It
it's
really
hard to go back
depends.
because then you're just like people compare the podcast to the stand up and
Mhm.
like you really shouldn't, but you do, and inevitably. I don't
I
know.
think
I
if
guess
you
that makes
want
sense.
like a closer look on that person, or if you want more of like their takes, I think like a podcast is perfect. You know, like I classically used Chris D'Elia for that, whether people like it or not. But I mean, I've like listened to every single episode just because I like how he rants. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's an excellent point.
No, yeah. I think that's what it is. People love takes. They love what if they enjoy who you are, they're like, okay, something happens to the world. I just found out this happened. I want to see what like their take on it. Like recently, you know, everyone loved. I was telling you earlier that my friend was like working with bees, like a bee farmer, just randomly yesterday, which is cool. But then on the news, I saw that a bunch of bees killed like 60 penguins.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, like, and they were endangered penguins, and I'm like, yeah, no shit. If you're out here dying from bees, so like someone will see that and they'll like, oh, maybe Ani, like maybe she saw it, maybe she'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, what's her take? Like, maybe she's anti penguins. Like, I
yeah.
have no idea, but I'm gonna find out. Like, let's find. You know what I mean?
Right? I know. I love that. That you can. Yes.
But as far as stand up is, have you started? Like you said, you want to come back to it. Have you started it at all?
So here's like the goofy thing. Like through all of pandemic, so I stopped legit like 2 weeks before pandemic hit, and I kept writing through this whole time,
Well, that's good. Yeah.
and I just kept like working on bits and like naturally, like not even on purpose. I just started working with comics like through that time. So
Yeah.
it was like not that I was. You can't compare, obviously, but I was trying to observe them more in how like a professional comedian is, because I was just in an open mic scene, you know, and I was like pretty new. So I'm here in New York where people come to do the thing the best, you know?
Right.
So not that I shouldn't just like dive in, but like I just wanted to take time to really like take that in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I never did that before.
But you can't take it in forever. You
Right.
eventually have to get in.
So I did 2 open mics.
You did.
I did 2. Laura was at one of them.
What?
It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. But I did do it.
Yeah.
The hard thing for me is, and it's also so fucking dumb, is I started doing stand up with like no intention. I just wanted to like talk and tell stories, like whatever, and it was just a different creative outlet, and I really enjoyed comedy as a whole.
Right.
But then getting back into it, you would think it would be easier.
But it was hard.
It's so hard.
Because I remember you were when you were doing your design job, you said, because I had said like, yo, you're mad brave, because to just get up on stage, like I want to act, but I can act in front of a camera. I don't think I can act in front of like a theater where it's like
Yeah, you
right on
can.
the line. I don't think my anxiety will not allow that. But you had this design job, and you said, I literally talk to people all day, every day, so it's fine. So when you made that
That's so
transition, it
true.
was super easy. But now you've been out of it, so you like lost that that muscle.
It not even that, but we've been confined. You know what I mean? So like I was presenting and talking to people every day, and now I work from home. My business is like whatever, like
Yeah.
in my vicinity, and like it's harder to
It was
like.
it was a pretty common thing with like every comic. I was
Yeah.
just watching the Sam Morril documentary about like comedy during the pandemic, and I mean it was like Ari, like all these major ones that were like.
Yeah.
So I think he said he didn't even think about it once during the pandemic, and some other people just said
Wow.
they didn't miss it, but then once they started doing it again, they were like, "Oh wait, no, this rules." Like I
Oh,
miss the
yeah.
It
people,
does
I miss
roll.
everything.
It's so much fun. Like And not that I had like, great sets all the time or anything like that. And the bar in the shows that I was in, not that I felt like it was low, but like I just felt like there were more experienced people on the shows that I was getting booked on. And I was like still very new. So, and that was all for the most part in Boston, and then like sprinkled one or two other places. But like New York is where the best are, supposedly.
And
Shots
a lot
fired.
of bad ones.
And a lot of bad ones. I mean, I don't want to, whatever, I don't give a fuck. These mics that we went to, dude.
Yeah. not
I
great.
mean, maybe it was just the mic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just nothing. There's only one or two people where I was like, and like, it doesn't take a lot to make me laugh.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt, not that I had like a great set or anything, but said some funny shit.
Like you got one joke. These people couldn't get one.
Yeah, I had a joke.
Oh, that's nice.
I
mean, it's better.
I'm being hard. I'm being hard. I didn't laugh that much though. But maybe it was just bad. I only went twice. That's not fair
Yeah.
representation.
Mm-hmm.
It's also in all those like shitty built wooden things in front of it. Like it's on the street. It's not a great environment.
Oh, it's outside.
Some of them. I guess
That
now
one
they're
was.
like, now they must be back inside.
so.
So it's whatever. But
I don't know. I think the pandemic just kind of changed people and with the way they see. Maybe it goes with what you said earlier about like everyone was doing binging, podcasts so much. When they finally went to the stand up, they're like, this is not what I signed up for. I kind of wanted the conversation. I don't care about your bit about whatever.
And not that my jokes don't make sense anymore, because I could still tell them, but I don't have the same oomph behind them anymore, because
Really?
it was like that was like the time of my life. I was like writing those types of jokes, so now I'm like trying to work different things, and I'm writing them but not saying them into a mic, which is so useless. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm doing this podcast. So I can just stop being a pussy.
Is that like is that a normal thing where like a comic would like when they go back to an old joke, like they might have that feeling like, oh, that was a weird time. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. I have like some that are like about my parents and stuff, where when I was talking about that, like you could tell it was real. And now I'm like, I don't like live at home anymore, and like I'm a much
Yeah, you're like, who
calmer
cares now?
individual. Like in general, like my anxiety is like much better.
Really?
So like not that my comedy's different, because it's still the same things I find funny, but I don't know. It's just my mindset. So many things have like every part of my life has changed in the last like year and a half.
Well, that's good because my anxiety is worse than ever. I take propanol.
Really?
Yeah, and beta blockers just to
Really?
get through.
Do you
things.
meditate?
No,
Why?
I don't.
Do you
no.
journal?
No.
Do you do anything to
I take
manage?
propanol. I take propanol. But yeah, it's so weird that I like need to do that now, and even like
I used to take Xans, like prescribed, like I
Yeah.
had to, like dude, it was bad. I don't have to anymore.
it's just weird. I think just a lot about me changed, and it has to do with things like even talking. Like before, I said like I'm much more comfortable having like two people to talk to than just
Yeah.
one. Like the other day, I was talking to this girl, and there was like a group of us, but we kind of like were to the side, and I was talking to her, and literally just one-on-one, and usually that would be fine, but literally as I'm speaking, I'm like, okay, the conversation is over. The second I'm done with this. And it fucking was. It totally was. And I'm like, I don't even, what do I say? And I feel weird, like not being able to carry the conversation. And it's like, is it my anxiety that like I can't keep the conversation, or does she suck? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
People just suck.
but
A
I,
lot of
but
people
I,
suck.
but
Like,
I
a lot of people
can't,
suck.
but I can't, like, it's just my thing,
Yeah.
and I can't get past that. It's just super weird, and I don't understand. But if I'm in a group of like 3, it's fine, totally
Yeah.
fine. It's just super. I don't get it, but I that was the first time where I was like, I literally said it as I'm speaking. I said it in my mind. It's over.
It's hilarious because you learned how to model from YouTube,
yeah.
and that didn't make you anxious.
I learned how to
and
do
you
everything
walk
from YouTube.
in front of people and photographers and
You don't have to talk to them.
and do but like you still do it,
Mhm.
and that doesn't make you anxious.
Oh no, that does. And then I take I take I do it. No, one show I did, it was like such a nothing show, and I was shaking. I was literally shaking, and I'm like, nothing. Does nothing. There's no one here that's famous. This is literally nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm having like a panic attack, and I can't figure out why. And my mom, she actually said, like, because I played football my whole life, like you would get amped up before. And then you'd go out there and then you'd hit people and it would be easy and it would be like you could.
Yeah.
But now, and I feel like there's maybe some truth to that I kind of condition myself when I'm going to do something to get amped up and then I can release it. But now I'm not, there's no thing to release it. So I'm just sitting there like with all this thing and it's not.
You got to start punching some shit like a bag or a person.
I don't know. It's crazy, but it does make sense. Like when you like think about it like that, like, and but I mean, I haven't played in so long, but
I mean, so for instance, why I asked if you like meditate, because that like forces you to sit kind of still and like focus on that, like that feeling. You know what I mean? I'm curious if you've ever have you ever tried
to meditate? Well, I don't have that feeling when I'm like by myself. I have it when I have to do something or have to talk to someone. Then I have that feeling, but I don't. But like when I'm home, I'm fine. Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't. It's like really just purely like performance anxiety. Like and that's my thing. Everything is an act because I don't know how to do anything, so I just pretend my whole life.
It's so funny because like I'll have that, but then I'll do the thing and it's fine. It's like
always fine.
It's muscle memory. Like it's blah 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 blah. Like you know what I mean? And it's fine, but like to get myself to get up, go down to a mic and like put my name on a list, and then bonus, in New York, you gotta pay for that. In Boston, is the free mic, dude.
How much do you have to pay?
I mean, something like $5 or whatever. But like,
the idea of
you know, it's the idea of it, and I get why. But I mean, wild. And then to go and just potentially not have anything new to say or whatever, like it requires a lot of like mental gymnastics for me to like get back to do that for some reason.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it should be easier because you have material. You've been writing.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like it would be
go see spaghetti sticks kind of thing.
Are you going up there? Did you rely on your old content or did you just say the new stuff?
I did a little bit of both. I know that there's one joke that like is funny. That like usually works like no matter what, and like not hilarious, but like I always get a laugh.
Yeah.
And so I opened with that, and then I did 2-ish new stuff, and it was like okay, but like it wasn't, you know, it's an open mic, so like
Louis C.K. he used to say he would if he had a really great joke, in his next thing he would start with that really great joke, because then he has to build the rest. Whereas like another comedian, they would end on that because they know it's the best. They know they get a laugh. So maybe you should do that because it kind of forces you to make the rest of the show better.
Yeah. I wonder if I should just force myself just to do step 1 and go down there.
I mean, that is the thing to do.
You know, and then just watch.
Yeah, you gotta no watching. You gotta
model
do
your
it.
life after Louis C.K.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do is do everything that Louis C.K. does and represents.
I think people would enjoy that.
Well, reverse rules. No one would be upset about the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I mean, I know that I'm getting to that point because hey, we're on episode 2 of this podcast, so that's
nice.
Cool. I'm very happy about that. I feel accomplished about that, and like, I needed to hear all of these things. Hold on, I don't want to. Okay, cool. We still have like good time. So you got into back to Vogue. Back to Vogue.
Yes.
And what have you been doing since then?
Well, so I just did Fashion Week again this past week, which was it was interesting because of like the whole corona. I hadn't done like modeling. I had done like a couple like commercials, which is so funny because like I did a commercial for a dentist, but like I haven't had insurance or I haven't been to a dentist in so long.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's literally
baby.
nothing is real. That's what you have to understand. No one understands. Literally nothing is real.
It's so crazy, dude. And like as soon as you get to New York, you find that out. Like immediately,
Yeah.
immediately. It's like, oh, this is just like a corner.
Yeah, it's
what?
like nothing is real. Everything is just your imagination because you're there. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Like it doesn't. Nothing is real. So you can just do the things. But I guess you have to like figure that out. But like I was. I did a dentist and I was just laughing to myself that I'm getting paid to do a dentist commercial while not having been to a dentist in a very long time. But like so I was doing the like commercials, this and that. But over the pandemic, I have been writing as well. Like
cool.
Yeah, because like I said, my original thing was acting, and I don't believe that anyone will get me. So I have to like do it myself, where I'm writing projects, and then I'm like, okay, they're not gonna pick me to be an actor, but I can like like bargain,
Yeah.
like negotiate, like, well, I have this great script,
Yeah.
like put me in the thing, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's what I've been
I
doing.
remember us talking about this a little bit.
Yeah.
And you had an idea.
And now
You don't have to say the idea.
yeah, but that's the thing, like over the pandemic, I basically, what's crazy, because again, all I do is learn from YouTube. It's literally, I call it my dad, because I've learned every single thing I've ever known from YouTube. Literally, I remember being at Mount Ida in the library, because I didn't have a laptop. In the library, like learning how to do a tie while everyone is doing like their research papers, and I'm just like over here, no shame. I don't care. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
So I learned how to do all write, and because everyone. The thing is like cinema. It's a language, like, and everyone understands the language if you look at movies, but the thing is actually putting it to paper, like making it real, is like the huge thing. Like what you said, like you write it, but you have to make it real by being there, like by doing it.
And if you're, like you said, if you're into it too, you can even see the formula like right in front of you.
Exactly, yeah.
And you're like, oh, I could fuck it. I say this all the time when we're like watching shit, like I could fucking write this shit. Not that's so cocky of me, but there's a formula that you can follow.
And that's actually something that happened to me, is that I had an idea a long time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, about this movie about like college friends like coming back together, and I thought of this whole plot of this whole TV show, and I'm like, that would probably be a really good thing. And literally the next day, Friends from college is like the face of like Netflix, and I'm like,
and they got Robin.
I'm telling, but the thing is, like, yeah. But first of all, it was a good show, but it was basically my premise, and I was like, oh, I can do it.
Yeah.
This is my idea that I had, yesterday.
And my FBI agent was just really fast.
Yeah, but obviously they had this idea long ago, but it gave me the confidence, like, oh, I can do this, because I literally did. I did it right now.
Yeah.
So I started writing, and I have like 12 like projects that I have, and obviously I'm not gonna do all of them, but I have them, and like if I can get like 4 or 5, 6 done, be great. But it's crazy because I listen to all these writers on YouTube, and they're like, I have like 50, 60, 70, and I'm like, oh, they have to be trash. Like they have to be. Like Tarantino is one of like the greatest. He has like 9 movies. That's it. And even he said, he's like, there's not enough time. Like, how are you gonna put that much effort? Like, and Jordan Peele, who made Get Out, he made Get Out, and he took that, he tried making that for 10 years. Like, he was writing the script for 10 years.
Wow.
Meanwhile, these people have like 50, 60, 70 projects. I'm like, they can't
But
be.
is it the Russ mentality where like I'm just gonna put shit out kind of thing? Like
Maybe.
I feel like that's the culture like nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
where people just put out quick, ba 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 ba, and it's not quality. It's like just fast.
Yeah,
you know?
algorithm. Just feed the algorithm. Don't feed the people. Feed the algorithm.
Right,
So
and-
so YouTube will put you on like the hot
but
page.
The good stuff like stands out though.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it was just that was a little like disconcerting. Like, damn, I'm like nothing because I have like 10, and these people have 50 off like their like whatever.
You have one more
But
than
I'm-
Tarantino.
Yeah, like what the hell? So it was kind of like kind of disappointing, but but it doesn't matter. Like that's kind of like my thing. And like I said, I wanted to be an actor first, and then I got into modeling because I was just acting like a model, and then it just kind of went off. But like that's kind of the goal, especially because I'm just getting older, and like you have to be like, to be a model, you have to be a woman and like 17 years old. You know what I mean? When you're 23, you're disgusting. Like, get away from me. And I started after that, so
here we are in front of my
you know what I'm saying?
People in the room.
I know, right?
Yeah, so it's
3 lards.
it's like people have already shut the camera off. It's disgusting. But
this is audio only.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so that's basically where I'm at now, and I want to like kind of push forward, because I did the modeling, and I got connections. Like I know people who have like film crews. I know actors who are also modeling, because it's the same thing. It's a big city, but it's not. Like everyone is like doing the same things. And with the things I've been doing, like you don't know who's famous, but like everyone's kind of famous somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's weird because they don't seem famous, and then you talk to them and they're like, no, and then you like see their social media, and they have like one of my shows, this girl had 2 million followers, and she led the show, and I only knew this because someone had a video of her, and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe blah 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 is leading the show. And I'm like, I had no.
You're like, I met her backstage. She seemed kind of normal.
She was fine. But it's just weird how like people are so, like, what is it that makes people follow you online, but that they're not that like,
it doesn't translate to real life.
Yeah. They were like having this thing with like Drake and Michael Jackson, like who is bigger? Like people are like, oh, Drake is bigger than Michael Jackson, and it's like Michael Jackson had this like such a charisma, such a talent, and Drake is very talented too. But I've never seen Drake kind of like.
But it's like, what are we comparing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I think they were comparing like record sales and stuff like that. Whereas like people were putting
like, things are so different. Like it's a different.
Yeah,
decade.
that's what I mean.
The sales are different. The way people listen to music is different. People fucking listen to music on TikTok now. Like,
yeah.
TikTok rules the music industry. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yeah.
Yes, we.
Also, you should do. I mean, if you're not doing TikTok, you should do clips of this show on TikTok.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it rules everything. Like
I'll like find music on YouTube, and it'll be like TikTok remix, and I'm always like, "Fuck, it's good though. I like it."
Yeah, I remember Kid Cudi, like they had remixed one of his songs to for like a meme, and that song like meant a lot to him.
Yeah.
So he went on Twitter, is like, yo, I don't like that you guys are doing that.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure the management was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Everyone is like streaming your thing now. And then he came out, I love that you guys are doing that. It's so cool. I love TikTok, and 15-year-olds are the best.
It's my new demo.
Yeah.
Thank you. Move over,
Yeah,
Crystalia.
but like that's what. But like.
I'm joking.
But not really.
No,
but yeah, so
I'm joking,
it's weird. Like TikTok is like what you got to do to be famous now, and it's weird because of like I want to do it, and I have ideas for like memes of it, but
do it.
Yeah, it's just
like there's literally like actresses that are just TikTok stars, right?
Yeah.
Like I watched that horrible movie, He's All That, and that chick was just famous from TikTok.
Yeah. But she's famous. You know, she probably made the people watch that movie. Like, why did you watch it?
It's just like
I've run out of movies.
I've been going back in time.
Yeah.
I'm like watching like noir stuff, like from like the 50s and 60s. Like, I love it. But it's weird TikTok because there's so many underage kids on it, and like Snapchat too. Like if you go to like that one side where like the explore, I guess it's like an explore page. It's literally just all kids, and it's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
This is like, why is this even?
The side child porn side.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
so
God.
weird. Like, why is that even a thing? But it is, and and that's what makes me feel really weird about TikTok is that like that's for them, but that is like 100% like the road people have to take. Comedians and singers and all this stuff. If you just get good on TikTok, you get big on TikTok. So many models are big on TikTok, and they have that in their Instagram. So they'll have like maybe 20,000 on Instagram, but they'll have like 150,000 on TikTok.
It's wild.
So they get all these brand deals from TikTok, and it's like, yeah, but it's just I don't know it. But I feel like the old guy who's like, I'm not knocking it. I'm saying that's the way. I just feel uncomfortable.
It's like the first app where I just have been like, I don't know. Like it's just the next generation. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not interested in it. It feels foreign.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's for us anymore.
We're old.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Things
doing it,
move
dude.
Too fast on TikTok. They
I'm
keep
doing
moving.
my ADD. Ah. I don't know, man.
But
It's
you're
crazy.
good at the social media. I'm seeing you do
Thank you.
the reels. I don't know I don't know if you're on TikTok because I'm not on.
I
but,
am. I'm just
but
not
it's
as
good.
active.
But yeah, but you have the thing that because some
Thank
people
you.
go on TikTok and it's gross. Like it's like you need
Just
to be
dumb
an
shit.
editor. You need to
Yeah.
know how to edit, and they just
There's
put
no
up.
production value in the
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that
and-
I do.
Yeah, and you have that. So you're like
Thank
really
you.
good. You're really good at that.
Thank you. I remember like people I honestly started doing that because I just like posting for people's birthdays like
Mhm.
back in the day, and now I can't even fucking go back and get all of the pictures because I have like 16,000
Oh my God.
photos on my phone. But I mean, I just remember like those made people so happy. So like putting pictures together like that, I just
Mhm.
really liked doing. Then I started doing that for other stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, just like made social media easier.
It's nice making other people happy with like
Mhm.
little gestures. I mean, that's like a big reason why I went to your first show.
Thank you.
Like, I was
that meant so much.
I'm sure it did, and
Yeah.
I was proud like of you for like taking that step and doing that, and you that was like you hosted the show, and it was like
Yeah.
you made the show, and then you did a set, and
Yeah.
I know that like I wanted to be there just because I knew it would make you somewhat
Thank you.
happy about that. And I feel like people are kind of in this like this thing is they're in a like I do for you what you do for me type of mentality, and it's like if you don't realize it's kind of dictating your life. Like if that like I was making you happy, but that makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if I have that mentality of like like would she come to my thing or like would she do this for me? It's like then you'll never do anything, and you're actually stopping your own happiness because that makes you happy.
And you're like quantifying like somebody's like version of support. Like it's possible, like it's very possible that you could have just supported me from 2 states away, like you
Mhm.
were, and just posted about it or whatever. Even if you talked about whatever, but like the choice was no, I'm gonna come in person, and that like meant a whole lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's. And I'm not, even if you were you couldn't come, I wouldn't have judged you for like posting.
Right.
I still appreciate like any support anyway. You
but
know
I
what
feel
I mean?
like people are just in this mindset of like, well, like, what reminded me of it is like happy birthdays. Like people will like remember, did they say happy birthday to me on my birthday? I'm not saying it to them
always
this
thought
year.
That was so funky. Like
I
when
know.
people are like that. Like, dude, sometimes I just got a busy day and I didn't even check my socials. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So it's like just be happy and do the thing you want to do. And
Yeah.
if that makes someone else happy, like just do the thing. People are miserable.
Take it personal.
Like that kind of thing. If it's someone forgetting a birthday, I mean, it's possible. It just they didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Everyone has
It's-
their own
that's
stuff. they're
mostly
going on.
the-
It's never like on purpose to like.
Yeah.
But
hurt you.
but sometimes it is now because they're like, well, they didn't say it to me, so now I'm gonna ignore them. I'm not even gonna look at their story. I know they're gonna post to other people's that are saying happy birthday. I'm not gonna say it, and then I'm gonna pretend that, or maybe I'm just projecting. I do that all the time.
Imagine, but like, isn't that a lot to hold on to?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are miserable, and they gotta just let that thing go
Yeah.
and stop letting that dictate their life. If this makes you happy, do it.
Mhm.
Even if they've never said happy birthday to you and never will, if the thought of you saying happy birthday and thinking they like that and that makes you happy, do that.
Mhm.
Do it. Just do it. It's literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like the person's picture, like post them on your. You do that a lot to me, which you're just the biggest
Dude,
sweetheart
you're
in the world.
fucking, because I
You're-
love it. I
and
love it. I'm
and
happy to do it.
And it's just a nice thing that costs nothing. And
makes me happy.
and like now that I've been doing the modeling and I have like my whole like Instagram is just models and it's
yeah.
which is terrible. Oh my god. But it's like I'll have like photographers and they'll have like things and it's like I'm just liking everyone's thing.
Yeah.
And it's like cuz it's literally the least thing you can do.
Yeah.
And it'll mean a lot to them and like someone maybe the other day I've never seen this before in the wild. I
my
saw a girl with 9,999 followers.
Oh God.
I didn't know her at all, and I'm like, I have to do it. And I followed her, and I watched it go from 9,999 to 10K. And I was like,
You message her like you're.
I
welcome.
did message her. I'm like, I saw this, and I had to follow you.
You're a good man.
I screenshot it and I'm like, here, good luck. I hope you make all the money in the world.
Yes.
And I'm sure she has been like, because obviously you're not trying to strive. Well, maybe some people are striving for like the 10K,
up,
20.
Dude, that swipe up link.
Yeah, but I'm sure.
Which now they added that link thing anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Fucked up. But I am thankful. I am thankful. Buy my candles.
Buy Moush.
Yes.
But I've never seen that before, and I was so excited for her, and that made me happy. So I'm selfish in a way because I wanted to make her happy.
I had like a teacher once that said that. They were like, I just never wanted to leave college, and I just love teaching. Like I like seeing other people learn and learning from other people. Doesn't matter who it is. So I'm selfishly here as your professor.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm good with that because at least you were honest, first of all. So I have my expectations of you.
I mean, at least they're like being there.
Yeah. And then like it's yeah, exactly. It's like a genuine, like I'm being selfish, but at least you know you can count on me.
I mean, everybody's selfish, but it's like rare that this selfishness leads to a good thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
I guess teaching, there could be worse things.
Yeah.
I know. It's fun. Speaking of teaching and projects and things that like we've been manifesting for a really long time, to the day that we're recording this, the first pod class episode ever went out today. Yay! Me and Irish.
Wunderbar.
So I need to plug that right now. Everybody go to either toomuchcontent.live on Instagram or go to our YouTube page, which is Too Much Content, and it will be one of the only episodes up there right now. But we are beginning, and Podclass is us at Too Much Content teaching you how to podcast.
And if you're anything like me and you learn everything from YouTube, this is obviously
from your dad.
This is literally, this is perfect for you. If you wanted to learn how to podcast, this is your channel.
I'm 100% going, like, that's what it is.
YouTube University, for sure. And they're short.
Save like outtakes of that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I enjoyed at the beginning just you guys sit down and immediately just start talking.
Yeah.
Like no one ever like I don't know.
I knew that you would like that. Oh my God. We did it's so funny. Like speaking of like acting, it takes and like all this shit. I wrote the script for Podclass, and it was such a fun like experiment, but it's so funny just like doing that shit with Irish.
Yeah, he was funny, just like him being chipper and like just
I know. I mean, in the other episodes, it's like, not that that's not him, but like he'll be more what you expect of him.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited that we're doing this project. I thought of this a little over a year ago, like right after we moved to New York. And I was like, this is a really good idea.
Oh,
we
yeah.
should just teach people how to podcast.
100%. 100%.
And Podclass. So there you go. A class on how to podcast. Definitely go peep that. Did you have anything else to share before we wrap up?
No.
Dude, I appreciate you.
I love you.
I love you. Are you kidding? Fuck,
Yes.
I still watch, dude, about 9 years ago, Joey sent me this video that I still watched when I'm upset and sad to make myself laugh. And just him eating halal, guys.
Yeah.
And
For the first time.
For the first time.
I'm a little tipsy. Maybe more.
Oh my God, it's like a 6 second. It was a Vine.
It was a Vine. It was a
It was a Vine. Throw the fuck back. So if you can do Vine, you can do TikTok. That's
Shout out
all
to
I have.
Costanza, 'cause she did this one.
That's the whole video.
It was just you shoving halal guys.
Yeah.
in your face.
I'll definitely show you after
Funny,
this. Oh my God, it's the best video ever. But anyways, I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you coming on and talking about your journey. And I know that this will help so many people.
I know. I can't wait to come here for the third time and finally get one episode on
Dude,
here.
stop it. No, this is going out. But before we end, Laura, the last time you were here, because you did the first episode, at the end we said we were going to see if we could hold each other accountable to do the thing, and yours was to start writing again.
Yes. Slash the video compilation.
Which you
Because
did.
That I did completely do. Yeah.
Fucking
Wonderful.
yes, dude, we're doing it.
Yeah, no, with the writing thing, it was not long after that. I had this incredibly like vivid dream where I just woke up and I wrote everything. somewhat nonsensical. Like, but it was
Doesn't
like,
matter.
I just woke up and I was like, that's like a story, and I was like, is that cheating?
No,
No, that's the thing.
awesome.
You have to grab everything from the nether and and put it on the
that's what
paper.
I just threw it all down as much as I could.
That
and,
happened to me
like,
the other day too.
Yeah, and so it was just super close, like not long after that, and so I haven't built on it more yet, but I keep like revisiting it.
Right. Well, Jordan Peele, he said that like the first, because every like writing, you don't write a story and then it's over. Like you rewrite it. But the first one, the first draft is you're shoveling sand
Yeah.
into a
bucket.
yeah, and then after that, once the sand is all there, then you make your sandcastle.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the story. So but you got to fill the sandbox, then you can play in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
dude.
like,
I'm trying to play.
Yeah.
We're filling the sandbox as we speak. Dope. What did I say that I was gonna do? It's hilarious. This I did. I'm like, how many things did I say I was gonna hold myself accountable for? No, this and pod class.
Yeah.
Which I did. Which I did.
Yeah.
We
Look
are
at that.
doing it, guys. Do you want to throw anything to the bucket of things to manifest and like be?
Finished rewriting the first script that I had.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. I'm gonna have you back and we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
Dope. And for next time, everybody, please go subscribe to Haus Haux. It's on the Ani Moush YouTube channel. You can find it on all of the platforms. New episodes come out every single Friday. And follow me on social media at Ani_Moush and by_Moush, which is where you can find all of my art and merch and things to support me. And then check out toomuchcontent.live on Instagram, and that's also our website, where if you want to learn how to podcast, Too Much Content will be teaching you through podcast. So please go check that out as well. And would you like to plug anything?
Instagram at jcastle, JAYCASTL, and I also have a website as well.
Plug it.
Well, it's on my Instagram
Okay.
because I didn't pay money to have my name on it,
Okay.
but so it's a whole bunch of things, but it has my portfolio and all the things. So
Very cool.
yeah, so hopefully see you guys soon.
Laura, anything to plug?
Just my Instagram, I guess. I am Laura Shu.
Hell yeah.
LauraSCHU.
Dope. Dope. We'll see you hoes next time.
Wonderful.
Peace.